Legal News 5th February to 11th February 2017 by Deepak, Miglani. Delhi High Court struck down the Central Board of Secondary Education Selective Revaluation Policy. Supreme Court has awarded a compensation of rupees 1 crore, holding the Himachal Pradesh government vicariously liable for amputation of the boy's arms. American federal court rejected US government's appeal to restore travel ban. Supreme Court attaches Sahara's rupees 40,000 crore MB Valley property to recover dues. Supreme Court sought explanation from Amity founder on law student suicide. Enemy property must go to government. Supreme Court. Supreme Court decided to initiate contempt of court proceedings against sitting Calcutta High Court judge. Supreme Court ruled out blanket ban on Sardar jokes. Special Court Lucknow issued warrant against Ponzi kingpin Anubhav Mittal on Enforcement Directorate plea. Supreme Court allowed abortion of 23-week fetus. Supreme Court declined Tamil Nadu government's plea on release of Rajiv Gandhi killers. Karnataka High Court ordered winding up of United Breweries Holdings UBHL. IDBI case custody of 9-person extended. Pay rupees 60 lakh each to 681 families hit by Narmada project, Supreme Court directed Gujarat government. Supreme Court directed the center to preserve over 2 lakh wetlands. USA. Bill to halve green card allotment introduced. Uphar tragedy. Supreme Court sends Gopal Ansal back to jail. Spares Sushil. Owner moved NGT to ply old Rolls Royce. Man has no claim over assets inherited by sister from hubby. Supreme Court. BSF Jawan in food drop missing. Kin moved Delhi High Court. Rupees 10 lakh fine on Bihar MLA for filing frivolous PIL. Supreme Court. Jallikattu ban former Judge Supreme Court 6 Supreme Court shield. Now news in detail. Delhi High Court struck down the Central Board of Secondary Education's selective revaluation policy. In an important verdict, the Delhi High Court has struck down the Central Board of Secondary Education's selective re-evaluation policy that restricted students from availing the option in just 10 subjects and 10 questions per subject. Spelling relief for students, a division bench comprising Chief Justice G. Rohini and Justice Sangeeta Dhingra Sehgal termed the restrictions as eccentric and said students can now seek revaluation in all subjects. The board had introduced a rule in its examination scheme to allow students to apply for revaluation but restricted the number of questions and the subjects to be re-evaluated by way of notification in May 2015. CBSE brought out these rules after amending the bylaws, which the court found to be manifestly unjust, unreasonable, and partial. Supreme Court has awarded a compensation of over rupees 1 crore, holding the Himachal Pradesh government vicariously liable for amputation of the boy's arms. Keeping in mind the brilliance in the studies of a young boy with limited means, the Supreme Court has awarded a compensation of over rupees 1 crore, holding the Himachal Pradesh government vicariously liable for amputation of the boy's arms due to electrocution in an agricultural field. On March 18, 2012, the 8-year-old had accompanied his mother to collect sag from the field. He was electrocuted by a high tension live wire and fell unconscious. He had severe burn injuries. A week later, doctors at Rajendra Prasad Medical Hospital at Tanda in Kangra district amputated both his arms. The boy suffered 100% disability and his poor parents incurred an expense of rupees 2 lakh. American federal court rejected US government's appeal to restore travel ban. An American federal appeal court denied the Justice Department's request for an immediate reinstatement of President Donald Trump's ban on accepting certain travelers and all refugees. The Trump administration had appealed a temporary order restraining the ban nationwide, saying a federal judge in Seattle overreached by second-guessing the president on a matter of national security. The appeals court's denial of an immediate stay means the legal fight over the ban will continue at least for some days. Supreme Court attaches Sahara's rupees 40,000 crore MB Valley property to recover dues. The Supreme Court dealt a severe blow to the Sahara Group by ordering the attachment of its prime MB Valley property near Pune, worth nearly 40,000 crore, to force it and Group Chief Subrata Roy to deposit the balance of rupees 14,779 crore of the rupees 25,000 crore it owns investor with SEBI soon. Supreme Court sought explanation from Amity founder on law student suicide. The Supreme Court sought explanation from founder of Amity University Ashok Chauhan on steps taken by him to help out a law student who had committed suicide after being denied to appear in the examination due to poor attendance. A bench of justices A.K. Goyal and U.U. Lalit said it was necessary for Chauhan to file affidavit for the court to know his stand, as the student Sushant Rohilla had written a mail to him before committing suicide. The apex court had in September last year taken suo motu cognizance of a letter written by Rohilla's friend Raghav Sharma to the Chief Justice of India, blaming the Amity authorities for the suicide on August 10, 2016. The court had also appointed senior advocate F.S. Nariman as amicus curiae to assist it in the case. Enemy property must go to government. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said enemy property should not get transferred to the descendants of the erstwhile owners and must go to government. We are of the view that enemy property should not get transferred to the descendants of the erstwhile owners. It must go to the government. We are very clear about it. A bench of Chief Justice J.S. Kehar and Justice N. V. Ramanna said. The court refused to entertain Congress Rajya Sabha MP Hussain Dalvi's writ petition challenging the validity of the centre's decision to promulgate the Enemy Property Ordinance for the fifth time, terming it a violation of a recent Constitution Bench decision. Supreme Court decided to initiate contempt of court proceeding against sitting Calcutta High Court judge. In an unprecedented step Chief Justice of India J.S. Kehar decided to initiate contempt of court proceedings against sitting Calcutta High Court Judge C.S. Kannan for continuously levelling allegations against the Madras High Court Chief Justice and other judges. The Supreme Court has listed the contempt proceedings, and the case will be heard by a bench headed by Chief Justice of India and comprising 6 other judges: Deepak Mishra, Justice Chelam Meshwar, Ranjan Gogoi, Madan B. Lokur, P.C. Ghosh, and Kurian Joseph. This is the first time that a constitution bench has initiated contempt of court proceedings against a judge of the High Court. Supreme Court ruled out blanket ban on Sardar jokes. The Supreme Court ruled out any blanket ban on Sardar jokes, saying the judiciary could not lay down moral guidelines for citizens and that it should not pass orders on how people should conduct themselves. A bench of justices Deepak Mishra and R. Bhanumati said it was part of the fundamental duties as laid down in the Constitution that people should respect each other and no particular community should be joked about, but expressed its reservations about passing an order to ban the jokes. The Apex Court has been examining the case since October 30, 2015, when it agreed to hear a PIL seeking a ban on Sardar jokes for being racist, ridiculing Sikhs, and projecting them as foolish and naive. The petitioner advocate Harvinder Chaudhary contended that cracking jokes against a particular community amounts to a racial abuse and hurting religious sentiments. Special Court Lucknow issued warrant against Ponzi kingpin Anubhav Mittal on Enforcement Directorate PLIA. A special court in Lucknow issued a production warrant against Noida Ponzi kingpin Anubhav Mittal and his 2 aides who were arrested on February 2 by UP Police Special Task Force for allegedly engineering a rupees 3,700 crore scam. Mittal, the CEO of his main company Ablaze Info Solutions, Sridhar Prasad, and another aide Mahesh Dayal are in the custody in Greater Noida Jail. The warrant was issued by the Prevention of Money Laundering Act Court. Supreme Court allowed abortion of 23-week fetus. The Supreme Court came to the rescue of 22-year-old pregnant woman, allowing her to abort her 23-week abnormal fetus as it posed danger to her life. A bench of justices S.A. Bobde and L. Nageshwar Rao allowed the Mumbai-based women to abort after a medical board constituted by the court favored termination of the pregnancy as the fetus was not normal and suffering from various anomalies. Supreme Court declined Tamil Nadu government's plea on release of Rajiv Gandhi killers. The Supreme Court refused to review its verdict by which it had held that the Tamil Nadu government had no suo motu powers to release the 7 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case without the centre's approval. A bench headed by Chief Justice J.S. Kehar dismissed a plea of Tamil Nadu government that the court re-examined its verdict delivered in 2015. The court said there was no error in its verdict and turned down the state government's plea. A constitution bench of the Apex Court had laid down the law that a state government has no suo motu power to remit sentences of persons who were convicted under a central law and case investigated by a central agency like CBI. Karnataka High Court ordered winding up of United Breweries holdings. In a jolt to liquor baron Vijay Mallya, the Karnataka High Court ordered the winding up of United Breweries Holdings, the parent company of UB Group, for recovering dues payable by the UBHL promoted defunct Kingfisher Airlines. IDBI case custody of 9 extended. The CBI said that it has not yet given a clean chit to other officials of IDBI Bank in the rupees 1,300 crore loan default case. The CBI was opposing a bail plea by 9 accused in the case, 5 retired IDBI Bank officials and 4 Kingfisher Airlines executives whose judicial custody a special court extended till February 20. Pay rupees 60 lakh to 681 families hit by Narmada project, Supreme Court directed Gujarat government. The Supreme Court directed the Gujarat government to pay compensation of rupees 60 lakh to each of 681 families which were affected by the Sardar Sarovar project but were not properly compensated for the loss of their land and habitation. A bench of Chief Justice J.S. Kehar and Justices N.V. Ramanna and D.Y. Chandrachud asked the state to pay the amount before the Grievances Redressal Authority, which was set up to examine the plea of all those affected. It asked the authority to disburse the amount within 2 months. Supreme Court directed the center to preserve over 2 lakh wetlands. In a major direction to preserve ecologically crucial wetlands threatened by encroachment in many parts of the country, the Supreme Court directed the center on Wednesday to frame a policy to protect wetlands by June 30, 2017. The court direction will cover 2 lakh wetlands across India which were identified through satellite imagery by ISRO. The center has been asked to draw up a phased plan of action to conserve the water bodies. USA Bill to halve green card allotment introduced. Top US senator have proposed a legislation to cut the number of legal immigrants to the US by half within a decade, a move that could adversely hit those aspiring to get a green card or permanent residency in the US, including a large number of Indians. The Reforming American Immigration for Strong Employment or RAISE Act, introduced by Republican Senator Tom Cotton and David Perdue from the Democratic Party, would alter the US immigration system to significantly reduce the number of foreigners admitted to the country without a skills-based visa. The bill proposed to reduce the number of green card or legal permanent residency issued every year from currently about 1 million to a half million. Uphaar tragedy. Supreme Court sends Gopal Ansal back to jail, spares ill Sushil. In a rare instance where it revisited its ruling, the Supreme Court ordered real estate tycoon Gopal Ansal to serve 7 more months in prison for the Uphaar fire tragedy. This comes over a year after it let him off along with his brother Sushil Ansal on they had served a few months in prison. However, Sushil was spared this time because of the old age and ailments. In its earlier order, the apex court had termed the few months the Ansals were in jail as the adequate punishment for the negligence that turned Delhi's Uphaar movie hall into a blazing fire trap that left 59 persons dead in 1990 7. Owner moved NGT to ply old Rolls-Royce. Ashok Kumar, Delhi resident, proud owner of a Rolls-Royce car. A Delhi resident is in a quandary as a judicial order prohibiting ply of 15-year-old vehicles has been compelled him to approach to National Green Tribunal for its nod to drive its parked 20-year-old luxury vehicle. The owner, who claimed to have been plying the vehicle on the roads only on exceptional occasions, has submitted that his classic model has run only 35,000 km since its registration in 1996 and it is a healthy condition and in no way detrimental to the environment. Taking note of the facts, the bench sought response of the government authorities on his plea to examine whether he can claim renewal of the registration of his Rolls-Royce. Man has no claim over assets inherited by sister from hubby. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ruled that a woman's brother could neither be a part of his sister's matrimonial family nor claim right over property inherited by his sister from her husband. A bench of Justices Deepak Mishra and R. Bhanumati ordered Durga Prasad, who had claimed to be a part of the family of his widowed sister, to inherit tenancy rights over a prime property in Dehradun, to vacate the premises within 4 weeks or face contempt of court. BSF Jawan in food drop missing. Kin moved Delhi High Court. The family of BSF trooper Tej Bahadur Yadav, whose social media video clip on substandard food allegedly given to a paramilitary personnel triggered an uproar, approached Delhi High Court seeking to know his whereabouts. The family filed a habeas corpus petition seeking the court's intervention. The petition informs the court that Yadav's wife last managed to speak with him on February 7 and has not heard from him since then, raising an apprehension that all is not well. The BSF has been unable to reveal about his location, the petition said. Rupees 10 lakh fine on Bihar MLA for filing frivolous PIL. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court made an example of RJD MLA Ravindra Singh by fining him Rupees 10 lakh for wasting precious judicial time through frivolous litigation, thus sending a message to habitual PIL petitioners to be wary of hefty cost. Ravindra Singh was elected to the Bihar Assembly in 2015 from Arwal, a matriculate with declared assets of rupees 93.46 lakh. Singh had filed a writ petition in Patna High Court in 2015 questioning the veracity of news reports published 21 years ago in Nyay Chakra between February 15, 1994 and April 14, 1994. The High Court on December 16, 2016 dismissed the petition was unjustified. Singh appealed before the Supreme Court. Jallikattu ban. Former Judge Supreme Court 6, Supreme Court Shield. Former Supreme Court Judge Justice K.S. Panikar Radhakrishnan moved the Supreme Court seeking quashing of proceedings against him in the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court, which has issued notice to him on a PIL asking him to return PETA award received in 2015, several months after his retirement. At the height of the pro-Jallikattu agitation in Tamil Nadu, a 62-year-old agriculturist had filed a petition in the High Court alleging that since a bench headed by Justice Radhakrishnan had banned use of bulls in Jallikattu in May 2014 on petitions by Animal Welfare Board of India and People for Ethical Treatment of Animals and others. The ex-Supreme Court judge committed constitution impropriety by receiving PETA's Man of the Year award in 2015. The High Court had issued notice to the ex-judge on 31 January 2017. The agriculturalist Salai Chakrapani alleged that by receiving the award for a judgment, the ex-judge had violated the constitutional provision which bars judges from receiving any favor from anyone for any judgment. He requested the High Court to direct Justice Radhakrishnan to return the award. Thank you. Please subscribe the YouTube channel and forward the link of video in your circle. I shall be very thankful to you.